In Advaita, there are three bodies: physical body, subtle body. The third is not called a body, it is the Brahman consciousness or the self, who I am. Those who have learned the Vedic will say, but the third body is the causal body or Karan Sharira on Vedic side. Where is that? That is inside the subtle body, according to Advaita. It is not the third body. It is just the cause of your existence, the seed of existence. And it is not the Atman, it is ignorance. Yes? So Advaita calls Karan Sharir as ignorance. And ignorance, where does it exist? Exists in the subtle body or mind. What is the physical body? This gross physical body that you see. Yeah, whatever, 5 foot, 6 foot. Yeah, this gross physical body with all its sensory system. Means the 5 senses. Sight, sound, taste, touch, smell is the physical body. So in Advaita, there is the physical body, the subtle body, there is the Karan Sharira or the causal body that you have learned on the Vedic side, but it is not separate from the subtle body. It is inside the subtle body. Yeah? Subtle body is divided into mind, intellect, memory, ego. And if you want for clarification, ignorance is also a part of it, which is the Karana Sharira, the causal body. This is all a part of the subtle body. So, in Advaita, there is physical body, the subtle body along with the causal inside it, and the Brahman consciousness. Clear? These are the trilogy of this package called human, according to Advaita Vedanta. So this Brahman consciousness which is in me is in you also, in her also, in her also. It is not an individual package, so I cannot call it the soul. Yes, they do not call it the soul. Yes, the same word Atman is used sometimes, but it means the self, not the soul. Just for clarification, if you're reading texts from different teachers, they still will address it as the Atman, but here the meaning is the self, not the soul. Self means I, that I, inside that I feel. Clear? Yeah. So now we go to the explanation of Chitta Chaya with this understanding. How does it appear to you? It is actually a mirror, and the mirror has light behind it. Yes, it's a mirror and the mirror has light behind it. How does it appear to you? It does not appear like a mirror to you. It appears like light. Yes. So basically the mirror has borrowed the light. It is not self-illumined, but it has borrowed the light from the little bulbs at the back. That borrowed light in Sanskrit is the word Chitta Chaya. Very clear? Now, again, to clarify, it is not light, it is consciousness. So, whenever I say borrowed light, I am translating from the Sanskrit, but you should understand it as borrowed consciousness or the borrowed feeling of being alive. The borrowed feeling of being conscious, sentient. Yeah? Yes. So the same way I look at myself. Oh, I can experience this physical body and I can experience the thoughts. Yes, that is the mind. I can experience the ego also come up. I can experience the sharpness of intellect that is absorbing this knowledge. So I'm experiencing the subtle body. I can experience the physical body. The one who is experiencing, the one who is knowing is the knower, the self, the Brahman consciousness. Yes. Now that knower, its quality is consciousness, to be conscious, to be alive. Yes. And It is like a light. That consciousness is contagious like a light. Yes? So that light is shining. It is shining on the subtle body. The subtle body is borrowing that shining light, that shining consciousness. And then the subtle body feels conscious. The mind feels conscious. The mind says, I. Who's I? There comes Mr. Ego saying, I. See, I am conscious. So the mind feels conscious. The mind feels alive. Yeah? The intellect, that is the most intelligent part of the subtle body. That is like a reflecting surface of the mirror, and that reflects its light out to the sensory system, and then that's why your eyes feel conscious. Yes, your ears feel conscious, that's why you can hear. Your skin feels conscious, that's why I can touch. Can a dead body touch? Can a dead body hear? Can a dead body see? No, but I feel alive. My senses function. Yes, this sense of consciousness has been reflected from the intellect part of the subtle body. Very clear? Verse 6. Chitta Chaya Veshita Buddho Bhanam Ditu Dvidha Sthita Ekaham Kriti Anyasnyat Antakarana Rupini. Chitta Chaya is the same illumination that I was talking about. Yeah. Illumination is not really like light, but I will be demonstrating with pictures of light to explain the point more. But very clearly, please write there, even if the scripture uses the word illumination, there is no light that you're going to see or experience. Illumination is another word for feeling conscious, feeling alive. Yeah? Not feeling inert or dead. So the first line is the reflection of consciousness enters the intellect. The witness behind, the knower behind that you experience is shining its light on the subtle body. The subtle body is mind, memory, intellect, and ego. All four of them. Yes? But the reflecting surface of this subtle body, which is the mirror-like quality, is intellect. Tell me why? Everything is intelligent. Yeah? Everything. How do atoms automatically multiply? How do cells multiply automatically in a mother's womb? How does birth happen? How automatically things are happening? Plants are growing. How is chlorophyll getting formed just with the help of sunlight in a plant, and the plant is growing from a um, little sapling to a big shrub to a tree. Yeah. So there is an intelligence that is running in the entire universe. Yes. The faculty of this body mind complex that is the sharpest, that has that element of intelligence, is the intellect. The witness is that self that I spoke about. Yeah. The witness, the knower, the self, that is the true self. That is who I am. But I forget that and I start calling my mind and body I. But the true self is the witness, the knower, the awareness. This is the light behind. It is reflecting its light on the subtle body in the front, the mirror. The reflecting surface of the mirror is the intellect, and that reflects the light out. Don't you see this light coming out? So it's reflecting the same conscious feeling to the five senses, the sensory system, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue, and the skin. The same conscious feeling has been reflected to the sensory system. And obviously, that sensory system lends the same borrowed feeling of consciousness to the rest of the body. That is what is said in the next 2-3 verses. Very clear? Yeah? So he's saying in this verse that the intellect reflects this consciousness and it makes the body and the mind feel conscious, alive. Okay. Now, in the mind, it says that there are two kinds. There's a division that he is making only for explaining this particular scripture. So he's dividing the mind into ego and the rest of the mind. Okay, the function of intellect is over. Just the reflecting was the function of intellect in the scripture till now. Okay, so now the rest of the mind is not important. We are not going to talk about them. What we are going to talk about is Mr. Ego, Ahankara Ritti. Yes, in short, Ahankar Ritti together becomes Aham Ritti. Yes, Aham Ritti translated into English is I thought. Yes, or I sense. Sense, you understand, no? The feeling of I, the I-ness. I thought, I sense. So he's, just for this scripture, he has separated rest of the mind as Antakarana. Yeah, we'll keep it aside, parking lot, and we are only going to talk about Ahankar, Aham Vritti, I sense or ego or I thought. That completes this verse.